Everyone treats summer like it owes you happiness. Long days, pool parties, your best life on a loop. So what does it mean when you feel worse? The summer blues are real. It's why summer is one of the busiest stretches of the year for people starting therapy. Therapy is not only for when you're in crisis. Grow therapy is for all the moments when you decide you want more. More support, more clarity, more tools. Mental health isn't a destination you reach. It's something you build, and Grow makes that easier. Grow connects you with thousands of high-quality licensed therapists across the U.S., offering both virtual and in-person sessions, nights and weekends. You can search by what matters, like insurance, specialty, identity, or availability, and get started in as little as 2 days. There are no subscriptions, no long-term commitments. You just pay per session. Grow helps you find therapy on your time. The therapist you want takes your insurance on Grow. Grow accepts over 125 insurance plans. Sessions average $21 with insurance, and some pay as little as $0 depending on their plan. Visit growtherapy.com/booknow today to get started. That's growtherapy.com/booknow. growtherapy.com/booknow. Availability and coverage vary by state and insurance plan.
This is Stephanie Diaz de Leon.
This is Omar Waheed.
This is Beth Stacy.
This is Abby Maxey.
This is Camille Jackson.
And this is Rob Chappell.
And it's 365 Amplified. We're back. There's a lot this week, I feel like.
It's been a very long week.
It's a very long week. Tuesday was long. Tuesday night into Wednesday was long.
Very long.
Some of us stayed up. That was not me. I got to bed at but I stayed up a little bit late.
You did.
Like 10:30, everybody. And I go to bed at like 8:30.
Oh.
Because I love my sleep.
Yeah,
and I suggest to everybody.
You were checking on results at like 10 o'clock.
Yeah, that's late for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't. I was like, nah, I'm out. I already know what's going to happen. I could already feel it.
By then it was pretty clear.
Yeah. But some people stayed up till like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Why?
I was there. I was watching Breaking Bad with my roommate, and every 5 minutes we would look and just be like,
no, it's not going that way.
Okay, we're going to discuss Breaking Bad later.
Are we really?
It's the best television show ever made.
Oh my God.
The best? It's like top 10, but I'm not going to call it
That's fair. That's fair. Anyway, when the Dust Adult titled at 4 o'clock in the morning, when Milwaukee finally counted again.
Which we should explain, because I don't think people understood what was going on with Milwaukee.
Yeah.
With human error.
Yeah, the Milwaukee, I'm not sure all the details, but they basically they bring all the ballots to these couple of central locations to count them. Yep. They don't count them all at the precincts.
Yep.
And
that's true for lots of places. And that's true for lots of places.
Yes, that's not necessarily unique to Milwaukee. But they arrived in 5 of the flash drives, because they don't do this online. There's no internet, because that would open it to security trouble.
Yep.
So they brought these 5 of the thumb drives that had the ballots on them, had all the audit information, but not the actual vote counts. And because it's not online, they had to drive out
all the way back to each machine
Yep.
that they were stored on and re-download everything.
Which were not close.
No.
It's Milwaukee County, not just Milwaukee, so they had to go to West Allis or something.
Yeah.
And so they didn't get those even in to count until 2 in the morning.
Yeah. And they were important because it was so narrow of a race at that point between Crawley and who did pull ahead enough to win the nomination, and between Hong.
And it ended up being only a few thousand votes separating them in the end.
Mm-hmm.
People wonder how the polls could have been so wrong, because the polls ran a little bit more than 40%, and David Crowley had about 20-something. The polls were not wrong as it relates to
age group, to location. They weren't wrong. I think it didn't cover enough of a spread.
Well,
demographics.
They nailed the polls predicted Fran Hong's vote count.
Yeah,
they had her about 40%.
Yes,
she had about 40%.
Yes,
but it didn't get enough Crowley voters.
Well, it looked for only undecided on some level, very specific demographics, and I also think that people forget that some decisions aren't made till the day of,
right?
And I So that's why it's always important to think about those. Like, I wish I didn't look at the plus or minus margin of error for those polls.
The last state navigator was only like 2.5%.
Which is not too bad, but also like when you look at it, like look at everything that includes like who are we asking here in these polls and stuff like that too, because it left out a significant number of folks who, and I think a significant number in Milwaukee, because that's the thing I think people were sort of like, well, not enough of Milwaukee will come out for Crowley, and I was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
People like the hometown person, and he was a hometown boyfriend.
Yeah, but he only won Milwaukee County by about 1,000 votes.
Yeah, that's all it needed, though. That's the problem. Like I think people take for granted too. Is like that's what's gonna have impact. 1,000 votes, absolutely. That's why every vote counts and such like that too. And I just think that it's counted a significant number of other parts of the state that were gonna come middle. We're gonna stay in the middle, and also trusted Tony Evers than anybody else. Which is why we talked about when he came out with that endorsement, like that just changed everything. Yeah. Like understand that it had impact and it changes the way that, this might go because of that. And also like, I know you and I argued about this, you, me, and our oldest, our one of our kids, Patrick, argued about this. And you all are like, well, it won't have an impact. Or like one that Tony Evers wouldn't come out and endorse anybody, even if he's making Crowley come out. And I was like, if Crowley is smart, he is not coming out without a big endorsement. Mm-hmm. There's no way for him, because win or lose for him, like at least he looks like he was a party player.
Right.
And he came out because there was a big endorsement, not because, right? He needed that padding. He understood that. At least his campaign understood it. Maybe he didn't, but you're not coming out with nothing. Mm-hmm. Like you don't make me come back. You don't tell me to encourage me to stop a week ago and now ask me to come back in without support in terms of endorsements and support with money. And he started to get the money too right away.
The money, he got a lot of money.
He got a lot of money. And he's going to get a lot more. Right. And I think that's an important distinction too, is like those endorsements and that money absolutely is a player in all of these sort of elections and primaries. They're incredibly important, which feels kind of gross, right? Like it feels weird that somebody who's already been the king gets to be the kingmaker in a way that didn't allow or, dissuaded voters from really learning about candidates as a whole, right? Even if undecided voters learned about Hong in their own way and decided not to vote for her, I would feel like that was a better result. Like people learned about her on their own rather than like, well, Evers, endorsed Crowley, so that's who I'm going with, right? I'm going to go to the easiest thing. Mm-hmm. And the money thing also always bugs me, but that's what politics is. And like I said, it's interesting.
I actually didn't believe Evers' endorsement was real because he first did it when he was in Africa. Oh, Tony Evers endorses me and I'm back in the race. Like, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Sure. It's not real. It's a joke. Yeah.
So that was a huge surprise. Like, oh, this is real?
Like, it's a real thing?
Yep.
Yeah.
The big question then is this, what does this mean for the DSA or for...
It don't mean nothing for them. What do you mean? They keep going. Yeah. Like they keep, like that's an interesting, like, deflection about like current Dems and their inability to appeal to younger voters and even Gen X and voters as well, because I know a lot of them also went that way, and the lack of like their willingness to bring in different into their base, right? I don't think it's going to go away because across the country we are seeing this like play out differently. Michigan is one of those examples.
New York City, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
I don't think it means that they lose steam or, et cetera.
Yeah, I don't think you have to be. I mean, to throw a sports metaphor in there.
Oh, do it, Rob.
Fort Madison won 7 games in a row and then lost one. That doesn't mean the season's over.
Well, yeah.
Like the DSA is winning more than they're losing at this moment.
Yeah.
But let's ask the young voters. What do you guys think?
What do y'all think?
Whole situation. About the
I didn't follow it too much, but I was surprised. I didn't think David Crowley was going to win. Everyone I talked to was like, yeah, Francesca Hong. And like, I don't know, like even my parents,
didn't like David Crowley. They're like, he sucks. Like, and they're like older and live in like Ozaukee County, and so like it wasn't like they were like, oh yeah, it's Madison's gonna vote for Francesca Hong or like whatever it may be, but like yeah, and I think she has a really good campaign. She's been super strong. I mean, the Badger Herald interviewed her like 2 years ago, and like I don't know, she's been so willing to do like journalism and like or like interviews and like talk to whoever, and so I think like she's got the steam, and I think she's gonna keep going. But that's my humble opinion.
Yeah, I kind of had a similar experience where most of the people that I know and talk to seemed like they were in favor of Hong, but of course, that is like the demographic that we're around. But I will say I was curious about how like the lack of familiarity with Hong overall would impact the results. Just because I know that Crowley like had a history in politics as opposed to Hong who didn't, and so I think like you guys were talking about that like level of familiarity and like endorsements from powerful people is really important because the vast majority of people like aren't super invested in politics like that. And so they're kind of just looking to whoever
sounds familiar or knows somebody I know.
Yeah. So I guess I wasn't super shocked, but it definitely was
disappointing.
Yeah. I agree with what y'all said. I feel like it was just such a small margin, and there was like they were like 3,000 off, and that 3,000 there was like 3,000 people that voted for Barnes also. So I feel like absentee ballot, if like that could have definitely changed the outcome.
Absolutely. You actually you made a good point that like a lot of names of people who dropped out from the race.
50,000 people voted for candidates who weren't even running
anymore. Yeah, because they had left.
Yeah.
And so by the time those ballots were printed, which is, also interesting to me that like, how many of those votes would have gone differently? And what if we did change the process here and how we vote? Right. But I mean, it's interesting in general. And though Crowley has been a little bit longer than Francesca Hong in politics.
Not a lot.
Not much longer. But enough. But also he had the Evers name tied to him, which that's what people knew. So that's how people voted, right? Because I don't know that many people know Crowley. Like Crowley needs to hustle through. He needs to run. Like do what Francesca Hong did and run. Like you have to be good at running this next part. Like you got to hustle this. You got to make yourself visible, heard in so many different places and ways. Like you should not be just in Milwaukee. Right? Like, and if you're there for an hour, do a stop and then you keep running because Tom Tiffany's name is pretty well known enough because they were smart enough to start putting out a little bit of ads there for people to hear his name and stuff like that. And he was the only viable candidate on the Republican side. So you got to hustle, you got to run. People got to get to know you. I mean, I think it's possible. I think it was smart. Absolutely it was a photo op and it was a moment for them, but like to get all the previous candidates the next day with Crowley at a coffee shop, like having breakfast together. I think that was smart. I think that's exactly what you were supposed to do. But how are you going to keep that momentum going? Right? How are you going to keep moving and hustling like this?
Like 300,000 people voted for Francesca Hong, and David Crowley's going to need all of those votes.
Yeah. And get Hong maybe, and I think she would hustle for you too.
Oh, she will. Yeah. The other thing to mention is that people have kind of they picked David Crowley as the establishment candidate because he was the candidate that the establishment chose after their first choice.
Yeah, I was like, he wasn't their establishment candidate. He was the runner up.
Yes, he was their second choice.
Personality. He won for personality.
Yeah, but I don't think his politics are particularly centrist.
No, he's from Milwaukee. He has done a lot of things that people have like claimed that he makes him a crazy liberal, a social. He's been called those, whatever language they think is harmful, which isn't for some of us,
right.
But like they assume is harmful. He has been called certain things because he is a little bit more to the left of the center and has consistently been so. So it'll be interesting to see this play out. And absolutely, his race is going to play in this game. So,
well, I was just going to say, what's lost in all this is we have a really good chance now to have our first Black governor.
Yeah, which will be interesting to see how that plays out now in the language
and the
around him and the imagery. Absolutely. Them political cartoons, y'all, are going to be so fascinating. And it'll be interesting to hear all the dog whistles that come out of this.
I'm excited to hear people start saying Crowley isn't electable when Crowley went on a 2-week rant that Francesca Hong wasn't electable.
The contradictions are going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be
the way, lot of fun. Yeah, it's going to be a whole lot of interesting language from all the sides around this about what is electable and what does that mean. I'm like, you mean, what does that mean now, right?
Well, we will try to get David Crowley on the show again. We had him on when he first announced.
Yeah, he'll come back.
He'll come on.
Does he still like us?
He always likes us.
I think so. Yeah, last time I saw him, he was
lovely.
He was personable with me. So yeah, I think so. And the other thing I'll mention is the thing that I find frustrating on any political party is some of the analysis has been like Democrats got nervous about Francesca Hong. They were Greg Sargent from New Republic posted on Blue Sky that we dodged a bullet.
That's so weird.
And I responded and I said, Fran Hong was not a bullet to be dodged. And if you want her votes, like casting her that way is not the way to get those votes.
Also, I think that also the use of like a weapon is weird
right?
to
That's
me.
Weird.
Especially like the way that we care, again, women of color, men of color, that we tend to use language as if they're some sort of weapon, some sort of bullet or a knife or some, which is weird to me.
Yeah, but anyway, Greg Sargent
and problematic as heck.
He blocked me on Blue Sky, which I took as an honor. But also the Democrats have been working from this defensive crouch for the last 30 years.
30?
Probably more than that.
Let's talk about Carter administration.
But where it's the entire Democratic, and the thing is like, with the old tweets, the old Thanksgiving tweets, something like that, I never heard any Democrat.
Not even the Thanksgiving tweets. Don't forget that also our leadership summit from 2021 or 22.
Yeah. She was on a panel. Francesca Hong was on a panel on our leadership summit when it was virtual. So there's an online record of this, and that got shared by libs of TikTok and so
and Fox News. I was like,
and Fox News that she said.
Oh, was that from us?
That's ours.
That's great.
Yeah.
Look at us.
From us.
Name recognition. I wish they would have given us credit.
That's how long we've rocked with everyone.
But every Democrat that I heard talking about the old tweets and the old statements and the defund the police and whatever, they weren't actually worried about what she said. They were worried about what Republicans would say about what she said.
Yeah.
Which may not be actually real. But going back to all the way back to when people were making the economic development argument for gay marriage. Like that rather than saying like equality is just good, let's just do that. It was equality is good for the economy because we thought that conservatives or centrists or moderates would
pick that up
better. Like
we do that all the time. We say that about diversity, right?
Yes.
Democrats have made just as much as Republicans have made the argument that diversity is good for the economy. Businesses have made that argument.
Right.
Women's rights, that they said that's good for employees, right?
Because they're trying to appeal to this mythical center, and it's a defensive ear in the sports metaphor is like you're playing not to lose rather than playing to win.
Well, and also it's just saying simply like it's just the right thing to do.
Yeah. That's actually a resonant message.
As much as we don't try to talk about morals in our or in our language as Democrats and such. It's okay to say it's just the right thing to do.
Yeah,
that's enough, y'all.
All right, so that will be happening. There's a general election now in November, so we will keep track of the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to turn the page and talk about another story that I posted on Tuesday morning, actually. This was made Tuesday an even longer day for me, was another story of police behaving badly.
Yeah.
In Sun Prairie this time, but it was not Sun Prairie police. Sun Prairie police were involved.
Yeah, they were involved.
But it was initiated by a Dane County sheriff's deputy who followed a 19-year-old black woman.
That's you, Rob.
That was my laptop making a noise. Sorry. He followed this woman without his lights on or anything. Just followed her for 6.5 miles, about 11 or 12 minutes, all the way back to her home in Sun Prairie, unaware that her dad was in a different car behind the deputy. He was just tailing this single woman at night on a Wednesday night, like 10 o'clock. got back to her house, and as she's pulling up to her house to park, he flips on his lights. So she's home now, so she gets out of the car. The dad, whose name's Javon Montgomery, got out of his car behind the deputy, and we don't have the deputy's dash cam yet, so I don't really know.
It's just weird to me.
Well, they
released everything else.
Well, Dane County didn't release anything.
I guess
no, that's not true. Dane County did release the deputy's employment record, which we'll get to in a second. But what Jovan tells me is that the deputy immediately shined his light in Jovan's face and said, "Give me your ID." Jovan said, "I don't have to give you an ID. I just parked outside my house."
Yeah.
And the deputy didn't push it, but did. And Jovan then said, "Get Sun Prairie police over here," because they have body cams.
Which is so uncomfortable that we know those things.
Right.
Like, as Black and brown people, we're aware of, like, those things. One, that he knew, I don't have to give you my ID. I'm parking in front of my house. Mm-hmm. And two, he's like, I want somebody with body cams, and I know who has them here.
Right. Sun Prairie police have body cams, but Madison doesn't.
Not only does Sun Prairie have them, they actually gave me 8 different body cam videos the day after I asked for them.
Yep. That's why I said, like, they were ready to go. We saw all 8 angles.
The biggest problem with body cams is who gets access to the video.
And how quickly they get them.
Right. And do they charge you for it? And Sun Prairie I just put in a request, and the next day I had a link to download 8 different videos.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. Very good on Sun Prairie for that. Mm-hmm. But what those videos showed is the Sun Prairie police arriving, and the deputy, whose name is Tori Boyce, points at Javon and says, "He's detained," and points at Brianna, which is the 19-year-old, his daughter, and says, "She's detained." And the Sun Prairie cop says, "Actually detained?" And the deputy says, "Yeah, the way he's acting, he was standing still with his arms folded.
In front of his house.
In front of his own house." So
on the lawn, I think.
Sun Prairie was like, okay, because they don't know what's happened up to this point. So they go, okay. And they put him in handcuffs. You can see him going, "You got your camera on? You got your camera on? All right, I'll put my hands behind my back for you." And so they put him in handcuffs, and then they were trying to talk with Brianna, the Boyce, the Dane County sheriff, was trying to talk to Brianna and trying to get her to walk toward the street for some reason.
I don't know why. Why remove? You had enough Sun Prairie officers.
8 Sun Prairie
by the way,
police
8
officers.
Yeah, you said 8 body cams. I was like, did each of them have 4 on them?
No,
I was really confused why 4 teams.
8 police officers
come to a nonviolent, just
right.
The deputy just making. Never mind. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So he's saying to Brianna, "I just need to explain the traffic stop to you," and trying to get her to come toward him. And
Empire. That sounds like
right.
I mean, we'll get into this part when we found out that it was 6 miles, because I have a huge problem.
Yep.
Go ahead.
But she's like, "You can tell me," and she was upset.
Yeah.
She's like, "We're not doing this right now. You don't need to put me in handcuffs. I'm at my house. We're, and this is literally 1 week after Corey Ruiz got shot."
Yeah. And also, you didn't say what it was for, why he pulled her over.
Well, he hadn't said it at this point.
Yeah.
But he says she ran a stop sign at an intersection
6 miles before.
6.5 miles ago.
Yeah. So he followed her. He claims that she ran a stop sign and then followed her for 6.5 miles to her house to pull her over for that infraction that happened 6.5 miles before.
And if you look at the route, it's not a dark route. It's not particularly rural. He could have pulled her over immediately.
Yeah.
But didn't for some reason. So she's like, "No, you're talking to me right now. You can explain it to me right here." And by the way, we should also add, her stepmother, Emily, was also there, was confrontational with police.
Well, and I should also name, I know Emily. We worked with her. She's helped with the summit before. I've worked with her for years. She's an incredible event planner and stuff like that too. I did not know, and when Rob was reporting this and and doing research, I said, this is why I say out of things at the beginning, unless Rob needs me to look at something, that Rob knew her too on some level. He had met her and also during stuff, but not really realized who she was.
Yeah, I didn't until I went to interview them, and she said, "Say hi to Stephanie for me." I was like, "What?" But she was there too and was being very confrontational with police and was very upset and nobody ever thought about handcuffing her.
No, whatsoever. And
she's white. We should say
she's white, but she was being very direct, trying to ask questions and understand, and just as frustrated. And you could tell in the video, which was scared for her husband and her daughter, like just scared for them, and didn't understand like what is going on, what is happening, why do we need all these people here, for what?
Right. And Bianca was not being threatening at all. She's a tiny person. Yeah. And she was not being threatening. She wasn't a risk to flee. But she was at home. But eventually, not even eventually, after like 10 seconds, Deputy Boyce grabbed her by the arm with one hand, grabbed her the back of the neck with the other, and threw her face down into the grass, like in the little strip of grass between the sidewalk and the street. And then Officer Chitwood from Sun Prairie came over to help him. They put 2 knees on her back.
Yep.
2 large men on her back. And Chitwood was like, relax.
Like just annoyed at her.
Just relax.
Just annoyed at her.
Like nothing's wrong here. Just
yeah.
chill.
It's not a big deal. Except, you 2 grown, huge men, bigger men than her, were on top of her with their body weight for supposedly running a stop sign. Right. After they followed her for 6 miles.
And I asked the Dane County Sheriff office, is there any protocol for how long you're supposed to follow somebody? And they said, not really. Every situation is different. Okay. And I asked,
best practice.
What are the rules for like putting somebody in handcuffs or using force like that? And basically, you're not allowed to even put someone in handcuffs. You can say you're detained, which means you're not free to go.
Yeah.
You got to say here. And if a person seems like they're going to be a threat or actually flee and you need them to stay, then you can put them in handcuffs. And you have to have specific articulable facts that make you think they're a threat or to either cause somebody harm or to flee. I don't see anything like that.
No, not at all. At any angle that they had.
In what either of them was doing.
Yeah. And keep in mind, Javon, so Emily was trying to was like, what's going on? What's happening? And was actually coming closer. Javon, who is still handcuffed, and I don't know what happened. They sort of stopped watching, or apparently he was so scary and they were fearful of him. They had to put handcuffs on him. However, he was trying to tell his daughter to like, please just relax. And at the same time as Emily, you can see like coming forward to like try to help, Javon uses his body to usher her. It's kind of like sheepdog her away so she doesn't get arrested.
Right.
I'm like, wait a minute. I thought he was something to be scared of.
Right.
And yet he could still, while in handcuffs, move his body and make sure that he ushers and make sure his wife is not also arrested or harmed by the police either. But he was the one to be worried about as they were on top of his daughter. And he's also trying to get his daughter to like, just relax, so you won't get hurt. Because he was absolutely concerned about what was going to happen.
So they picked her up and put her in the squad car. And then a Dane County Sheriff's sergeant arrived, pulled Javon to the side, talked to him, and then was like, all right. And then that sergeant took his handcuffs off and then went to the Sun Prairie people and said, get her out of the car.
Yep.
And so he kind of diffused and de-escalated the situation. They got 3 tickets in the mail.
So they didn't even take them that night.
Yeah. They sent a ticket for the stop sign 6.5 miles ago. Brianna did not have her license on her when she was driving. She gave it to them when she got home.
Yeah. Because
Emily went in to get it and bring it out and give it to them. So, but she still got a ticket for that. And then Javon got a ticket for following too closely.
For following too closely.
On Main Street, which is a street they didn't even drive on.
No. So it wasn't even a real street that they were on.
Right, they avoided Main Street and Sun Prairie is under construction, so they went.
Falling too closely to the cop.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Exactly.
Look, when Rob told me how many miles, I assumed it was like maybe a mile, maybe not even that, right? Then he was following her. And he said, no, it's 6. I was like, I'm going to tell you as a woman, absolutely, you notice when someone's following you that long.
Yep.
And as a person who has dealt with different types of law enforcement, if they are following you that long, they ain't there just to cuff you. Like, they ain't just there to get. It makes me worried about so much different layers of safety that and question that. Like, it's one thing if like Rob said, like, rural area, it's raining, it's a busy street, there's nowhere to pull over, kind of thing.
Mhm.
But that's not what he was doing. He waited until she was home, which just feels weird, and feels like, again, like a moment to, remind her of her place and her power, and lack of it.
Also, I feel like that should just be like blatantly not allowed. That's like an intrusion of privacy. Like, a police officer can just follow you home and then arrest you at your house. Like, that doesn't, like, then they know where you live. They know, like, who your family members are. They know, like, your income and, like, based on your home. And, like, that's, like, just very, like,
yeah. And if he had pulled her over like a normal person, she would have stayed in the car.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have had this confrontation.
But the other thing too is to make sure it felt like a power move. If not for the fact that her dad was there, I don't know what he would have pressed upon her in terms of, like, not only am I pulling you over and exerting my power and remind you, like, what you did wrong here, like, also I'm going to remind you visibly, I know where you live. Like, we know that they can look up our information, they can pull it out. That's different, right?
Yep.
When they're doing it behind, but can you double check? I need your, ID because I got to add this stuff, whatever, right? But that was a way to remind her, like, hey, not only can I stop you, not only I know what your car is, I know what your information is, I know where you live, and that feels so scary and gross.
The other thing I did mention that the Dane County Sheriff's Office did give me one record that I asked for pretty quickly, which was his personnel file.
Yeah,
which there's nothing, no big red flags, no discipline. He's been a deputy since February of 2020. He did his 2-year probationary period in the jail as a corrections officer in the jail, and then got certified or whatever as a patrol deputy in 2022, and no discipline since then. But he did also apply. He didn't go to school for law enforcement.
No,
but he was in the Marines, and then he got a degree in computer information systems.
But he did apply to 3 different local agencies.
Madison Police.
UWPD.
UWPD didn't make it past the chief's interview. Madison Police, he didn't pass a background check.
Yep.
And State Patrol, he didn't pass the psychological exam.
So he only failed one of the background checks out of all of these? Like, how does he just magically pass some and fail the others?
That's what I'm looking into. I want to find out, like, what's different between Dane County and Madison.
Yeah, I
in their background checks.
They should be equally as
thorough. Yeah.
Well, there should be some sort of standard,
I guess.
Right? I mean, at least a shared standard. Also, for UWPD, he just didn't pass the last interview.
The last interview, yeah.
Yeah, the chief's interview.
Right.
And it just feels interesting to me and they were sort of back to back in terms of years when he was
2018 and 19.
Yeah, and so implying, and then in 2020.
Yep. So this is the first police job he's had.
Yeah, but he could not get into any of the other agencies because there was some sort of concern or flag,
something
that made them say, "Nah, we're okay." Even though, like, I feel like in 2018 and 2019, they were recruiting, all those agencies were recruiting pretty hard because there was a low in number of folks who were actually applying for those roles.
Mm-hmm. So the family has filed complaints with both Sun Prairie and with Dane County, and they are consulting with an attorney and might sue.
Mm-hmm. Might.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a traumatic experience, and if you watch the video, it is difficult to watch. And
yeah, it was hard to watch that.
And Javon said he's had recurring nightmares.
I can't imagine, like, the fear that still exists around that experience, let alone the what ifs with it. Like I said, like, there's so many what ifs that could have happened. And again, it's why some of us who are Black and brown know the law, not because we've experienced it, because, for us to learn it, but because we have to know it. We have to learn it because these situations happen. And people who said, like, well, they don't happen here. Yes, they do. There's literally video. Even within the comments of that, people were still like, arguing like, no, like there's more to the story. There's not. There's even video, and you're all still justifying what happened to this young woman and her family in so many different ways.
Well, she shouldn't have been resisting. Well,
she wasn't even.
She wasn't really resisting, but also
it was like suddenly attacked upon. Like, what do you like? What is your instinct?
There would be nothing to resist if you hadn't followed her for 6.5 miles and then initiated contact rather than just talk to her, which is what you said you wanted to do.
Well, and also like nobody else stepped into that other sergeant came in and was like de-escalated the situation. Nobody else. There was 8 other officers there who could have helped to de-escalate, to understand like what is happening here, like what is why are we necessary at this moment,
right?
Like why do all of us have to be here? Nobody questions that stuff,
right?
Whatsoever. None of them did, and they also like look. I know they didn't start the stop, but they also helped perpetuate by not stepping in to say, does this make sense?
Well, like I think 4 of them arrived after Brianna was already handcuffed, and they were like,
"Oh, okay."
And it's clear, like, what's going on now? Wait. And it took them like, oh, they weren't in the same car? What? And one of them was like, and this is another thing I want to ask about, but one of them was like, where's the other chick? Like, which I'm not sure that's the proper language. That a police officer
the respectful language for around people.
Yeah. So, and the other thing, one of the longer body camera videos that depicts the entire incident was muted the whole time, which is against policy. And there were others that were consciously muting it and talking and then unmuting, so I'm not, and which is also contravenes Sun Prairie policy, unless they were talking about something specific that wasn't related to this case, but was related to something sensitive. They could mute it for that purpose, but anyway, they're not supposed to be muting their body cameras except in very specific circumstances. Which is the other problem for body cameras, because like the body cameras are not a panacea. There's still
somebody. There's still a person behind it that gets to decide how it gets used and whether it's on. And there were times where it's like, why I know that person is reaching for their mic to say something, but there were so many times where the body cam was for that one or a couple of officers where it was all of a sudden black because of where their hands had to be.
Right. Yeah. Some of those is blocked because it's in their chest, and when they reach across their chest to push the button on the radio, then you can't see what's happening.
Yeah. And then it was like at a moment you're in, luckily another officer still had theirs to show at a different angle, but like it was at a really
the body cameras help with a story like this, but they're not a panacea for
No.
Not only that, but in any investigation regarding the complaints, the officers will be allowed to watch the video before they
release it.
Before they get interviewed.
Oh, that's
like what happened. Well, let me look at the video, then I'll tell you what happened. Like that's quite doesn't seem right.
No.
But anyway, so we will continue to follow that as we go along. I've got a couple of additional questions about some of those things into both those agencies, and I'm sure there will be more to come on that. We will. There's more to talk about in terms of the Corey Ruiz killing. His funeral is on Friday at Fountain of Life Church at 11 o'clock, and I'm working on some more stuff regarding the OIM's investigation that we'll talk about later. So we'll put a pin in that for the moment. But we are going to turn the page a little bit and hear from Omar on the everlasting saga of the nurses at St. Mary's.
It has happened again. SSM Health, as I've called them sore losers before, have decided to file another attempt to delay the union actually doing what they're supposed to do. So this time, they are challenging the NLRB's decision to throw out their challenge before.
So to get caught up, the SSM had an opportunity before the union vote to challenge it. They didn't. The vote happened June 11th. Is that right?
That sounds right.
Yeah. Overwhelmingly, the nurses voted to unionize. SSM tried to get those results thrown out, and LRB said, no, the results are fine. Now they're appealing that again. To whom do they appeal that even?
They're appealing it to the NLRB again, but their strategy this time is saying that the regional director who made that decision is wrong, and she's making erroneous decisions that are hasty, and we didn't get the chance to say our side. Because
you were late in filing your concerns. happened, you weirdos? You didn't follow the deadline.
So they said, we have a series of witnesses who can testify to our complaints. The witnesses is president of SSM Health.
It's ourselves.
The senior HR manager of St. Mary's, who I guess was sitting in the room the whole time. To this unnamed other people, and there's some fifth person, I think, I forgot who, but also all of theirs is that charge nurses were there. One of the complaints is that union supporters tried to give other union supporters cookies, which they call it the cookie incident.
Oh my God.
Which actually, fun fact, this is the second time that SSM Health has denied letting nurses get cookies from the community. So
why can't they have cookies?
I
yeah. A cookie bribe.
Yes.
Maybe if it was brownies, it'd be different.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't.
Got the wrong thing.
Well, the first one was during Nurse Appreciation Week, which, yeah, yeah.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
They don't like deadlines, and they don't like cookies.
Neither. So that's going on. We'll see how that goes. I imagine that one's not going to pan out well because, if you want to appeal to a decision, maybe you shouldn't call the person in charge of that decision wrong, erroneous, hasty, and spend pages insulting them.
How are you also? I wonder how much money this is costing them.
Probably more
than just accepting the vote,
meeting the demands, as it usually does.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for that, Omar. We'll keep tabs on that, and eventually they'll have a union.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually.
Excuse me. And finally, it's Eat Halal Week coming up.
Oh, was it just me talking the whole time?
Yeah.
Great.
Congratulations.
All right.
One time.
I know. It's like we don't have interns at all.
They're in the room.
They all had very valuable contributions to our previous discussions.
I know. I'm just razzing them. Eat Halal Week. Halal Restaurant Week. There's like 3 names. Halal Restaurant Week from Eat Halal Milwaukee is coming to Madison.
Oh, great.
Okay. For Eat Halal Madison. So those are the 3 names.
Gotcha.
So Eat Halal Restaurant Week was started 4 years ago in Milwaukee when Bushra Zybek was driving home with her son, and he said, "I'm hungry." She's like, "All right, let's go get a shawarma." And he was like, I don't want a shawarma. It's like, I want to eat what everyone else is eating, but it's not halal.
Yeah.
And she said, "You know what? He's right. Why not? Everyone else, there's halal food everywhere. The vendors have halal meat. Why not just ask them to stock it?" So they did, and that went surprisingly well. People loved it. They bargained with a bunch of restaurants in Milwaukee. It's like, hey, just order some. We'll do the rest. We'll bring all the people. And the people did show up. And they were kind of surprised. Like, sales have gone up 20% because they've expanded their customer base to people who can eat this food now. And it's just been a success. So they want to bring it to Madison now after 4 years. Right now, they have about 3 restaurants from the Food Health Group. They have Bassett Street Brunch Club, Everly, and Highway 1.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's what they have so far. They may have more. They're hoping to have more, but they're trying to keep everything in the campus area.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sure.
That is September 4th through 13th.
All right, Omar, thank you for that. We're going to take a short pause. We'll be right back right after this.
Here
you've listened to this show before, you know how passionate I am about Forward Madison, our local professional soccer team. I want you to join in my passion by doing two things. First, listen to the 608 Soccer Show, my Forward Madison podcast, on any podcast app. And second, join me and the whole 365 crew at the Forward Madison match on September 12th. We have a special ticket deal just for our listeners, and a portion of your ticket will benefit Madison 365, your favorite local nonprofit news outlet. Tickets are limited, so get them now at bit.ly/forwardmadison365. Again, that's bit.ly/forwardmadison365.
Now get more greens. Where the good fiber, the flow gone cyber. Vamos los flamingos flock tighter. All we do is give that good try. Close a hidden playlist on Spotify. Do da do just like Shy.
And we're back, and we're going to head right into the question. What's a small, dumb thing you're irrationally competitive about?
I'm not good at it, but I'm competitive about it. I always want to pack less than whoever I'm traveling with. And I never fail to lose. But I'm like, I pack too much. And like, I'll be like going on a trip and they're like, we have a whole car. You didn't pack too much. Or I'll be like, yeah. So I'm always trying to pack less than my sister. That's the one person I can beat every time. But yeah, so I don't know.
No, that's a real thing.
Yeah. Is it?
It's irrational.
Overpack.
It's irrational. It's irrational.
Yeah.
I can't explain it.
That's fair.
It's nobody's business. I have many. Because I'm always petty and irrational about things. Beating the yellow light before it turns red.
Yes.
Every damn time.
Yep.
Like some of these are relatable, but absolutely beating that yellow light always and forever.
You're competitive against the yellow light.
I'm competitive against the world and time itself. If Waze tells me, that's another one. If Waze tells me that I will be there at 7:58, I say bet I will be there at 7:56. And and then I'm like, and last time I was there at 7:56, I beat that time. I'll beat my own time. Now it's 7:55. Mm-hmm. Yeah, irrational, but I win, so that's all that matters. Mm-hmm. What about others?
Me and my brother are competitive about how many stairs we can skip when going up the stairs.
Oh, that's
which is unfair because he's like 6'4".
Oh yeah,
he wins, but I can still be competitive about it.
Yeah.
And spoons.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And Uno.
Competitive.
Uno.
Mm-hmm.
Spoons and Uno.
Man, I feel like I'm not a super competitive person generally. The only thing that's coming to my mind is whenever my roommates and I have a bunch of like dishes in the sink and I add something to it, like I need to be the one to finish cleaning mine first. Like there's kind of inherent superiority there. I'm like, I need to be the one who has it finished.
I can definitely relate to that one. It's like, yeah, I did my dishes first. Like they're waiting behind you, like, hurry up.
I don't know if it's competitiveness or just smugness, but
it's smugness.
I'm truly not a grammar overseer.
Stop it. That's not true, Rob. All of us have been harmed by your grammar corrections.
I have only been enriched.
You stop it.
Thank you. Thanks, Omar.
You're welcome.
He doesn't need affirmation. He's already smug about it.
Right. No, but the as long as your meaning is conveyed, like that's what
that's your standard.
But I don't correct people unless it's in professional capacity.
Yes, you do.
But like social media, somebody says the wrong "your,"
and Rob will correct it.
I'll correct it in my mind.
No, you will not.
Smug about it. I won't be like. I will if it's a dumb person and making a dumb argument. I'll be like, I'll pick that as something to pick on. But generally speaking, if I take comfort in knowing that I spell better, I pronounce better. When people say comparable or preferable, I get a quiet little like. That's not how you say that. I win.
And you do this in real life out loud to some of us as well. A lot. And on the podcast.
Well, that's a professional capacity.
All right, Omar, what's yours?
You've all said so many things that I do. I am a horrible person deep down. I don't let people merge. They have to go faster than me. That's it. If you want to get over it, you need to drive 20 miles over the speed limit at least.
You're my least favorite person on the road.
I know. Well, yeah, that's it. You have to be.
That's enough.
You have to drive faster than me. That's it.
I remember a couple weeks ago, Omar's like, yeah, no one in Madison knows how to drive.
No,
well, maybe that's because he's not letting them drive.
Because they're not
He's like, nope, you got to go faster than me.
I don't want to be so close to another Madison driver.
Another Madison driver.
Which is why they have to go much faster than me if they want to be in the same area.
This is why the Beltline is the way it is. It's Omar's fault.
I don't drive on the Beltline.
I'm always driving faster.
Also, are there highway cams here that give speeding tickets? Because I haven't got one yet.
Yes, there is.
Really?
Yeah.
How fast do you have to go?
I don't know, but I've gone pretty fast.
Yeah, you have to be. They don't mail tickets very often.
No.
In Iowa, it's 11 miles per hour.
Over?
Over.
Yeah.
I do know that.
Yeah. So
you can figure out how.
Mm-hmm. That's how you learn where the cameras are.
Of course.
What? I learned.
How you learn when they build a new one.
It's worth learning.
Answer?
Yes, I did. Yeah. Ralph already forgot I answered.
All right, folks. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you again soon. 365 Amplified is produced and edited by me, Rob Chappell, and is a production of 365 Media Foundation, a nonprofit, local, independent media organization in Madison, Wisconsin. Wherever you're listening to this right now, hit the subscribe or follow button to get new episodes every Friday. And between episodes, get your latest news at madison365.org. Follow us on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Threads. Wherever you get your news, we'll be there.
You know what's wild? Most people are still overpaying for car insurance just because it's a pain to switch. That's why there's Jerry. Jerry's the only app that compares rates from over 50 insurers in minutes and helps you switch fast with no spam calls or hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Before you renew your car insurance policy, do yourself a favor. Download the Jerry app or head to jerry.ai/Libsyn. That's JERRY.ai/LIBSYN.